In today's video, we're going to talk about how we got a big PB, how we went from 1 hour 19:46 to 1 hour 10:56
in 1 year,
and how you can too.
So we started out, let's go back to the beginning. We started our Hyrox journey, that word, in September 2022.
We started dabbling. I reckon if we'd have actually done a Hyrox when we very first started in September 20, I reckon it would have took us about what?
An hour and 45.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
We
An hour and
were
45.
bad. I wish people saw how bad we were at the beginning.
I did the PFT at the beginning, didn't I?
So we did a PFT October 2022.
You did all right.
I did all right. So
that's terrible.
we had a practice in August, randomly, if you remember, because it was boiling hot. We had a practice run through, and my first attempt was 29 minutes, 27 minutes, and I think yours was around about 30.
Yeah.
But when we came to do it live in front of people and watching and that, I was so determined to get the silver, whatever it was. I actually nearly done.
Did.
Yeah, I did.
I definitely got a bronze. If there'd been a scrap metal one, I'd have got a scrap metal one.
I don't even know. If we did this now, you'd beat me 100 million %, because your mindset's so much stronger now. Well, probably is then.
I'm a little bit fitter now.
You're a bit fitter now.
The year of training. So
what,
yeah, we were bad.
So I did it in 25, 32 or 23 seconds, 25 minutes. Yeah, so I did knock off a good 4 minutes, but that's from the August to the October. Not thinking, still not believing that I'd do a full Hyrox.
No, we were playing with it. We'd become a Hyrox affiliated gym in that code.
Yeah.
But we hadn't really done anything. So we started with the starter plan, or the starter plan was based off what we did.
Yeah.
So the starter plan is pretty basic. It's building you up to be able to do a Hyrox event. That's it.
Yeah.
And each as the weeks go on, a little bit more is added to it. And you gradually build up and you go, yeah, this is still horrendous, but you can do it. So that's the idea of the starter plan. It's designed for anybody who wants to get into Hyrox, who hasn't really done anything before when it comes to Hyrox. We've done weights, but we haven't done much running, or I definitely haven't done wall balls or anything like that.
Oh, God,
so yeah, that was what the starter plan was. We did that for a couple of months.
Yeah, and then we started the specific prep. You wrote the plans in late 2022. And I remember the weekends you spent writing these plans, and we thought, right, put money where our mouth is, and we tried the specific prep.
Mixed doubles.
Mixed doubles. So I am looking at a screen because Steve's kindly listed our whole year.
Yeah, we'll add the slide in so you can see what it is. But if we keep looking up like that, it's because we put it on the telly, so we can remember what we did, when and where.
Yeah, so it's good guide actually. So then we did the specific prep, and I thought, this is ridiculous. It's hard. I'm not, and you don't have to do it to. You have to do bits that you can do, and you don't have to do 5-6 days a week. You can do it in 3 days.
So the plan at the beginning explains how you can do it as a 5-day-a-week option, or a 3-day-a-week option, or 4-day-a-week. So you don't have to do the full 5 days.
Yeah.
And then towards the second part of it, it then becomes, well, it's 6 days, but a couple of them are recovery style days.
Yeah.
But you have development days, you have stimulation days. So some days are really hard working, some days are less hard working, and some days even less hard working.
Yeah.
But you can make it work for you. But we went full out with it. So we went doing all the 5 days at the beginning, then 6 days.
But we'd already had strength about us. So we came from a strength background. So bear that in mind when you're thinking, I can't do this, I can't do that. The 8-week specific prep is for people that are kind of strong already, I'd say, and started their running, if I'm honest. Would you say the same?
No, because
I felt like
building into Hyrox. So if you're going to do a Hyrox race, you need to be able to do that specific prep phase where it's more Hyrox specific. If you can't do half a simulation or 3/4 of a simulation, you ain't going to do the Hyrox race. So the whole point of that specific prep is to put you in the best position you can be in to do that race. So when we turned up, we knew pretty much what we were going to run our splits in. We pretty much knew what time we should really get.
It's not building your fitness though, was what I'm saying. From my experience, I think that you have to do the other development stuff after specific prep. So before you do another Hyrox, this is why we're building on our running, and then we tie it all together with a specific prep.
Yeah, so there's a general prep phase, there's a specific prep phase. Yeah. Specific prep phase is to bring together all your general training you've done, make it really more specific to the Hyrox race.
Yeah.
And then you do that. So once you've done your race, you then don't want to do that specific prep program. You then need to do general prep phases.
Yeah.
So what was the general prep phase that we did after? So what was that? So we did Hyrox Manchester.
Yeah.
And as we said, we did it in 1 hour 19.
Yeah.
It looks up 46.
So our goal, I remember in Hyrox for the last year, was to do the running splits in around 5 minutes 30. We'd actually
At the very beginning.
Very beginning we did. We said this, and we're now in our practice. Apparently, we were doing that. But what we didn't know was how big a rock zone would be. Never done one before, and we ended up adding time on. So it took us around 5:56 minutes per kilometre on the actual event. And also, I think we took it a bit steady, getting used to it.
Steady the actual event.
On the last year we did.
I took it steady.
Well, you didn't. You died. I definitely.
I put everything I had into it, and it's the worst I've ever felt. I couldn't. The time that we got in that on our first one,
you did die.
I couldn't have done any better. I wanted to try and be a little bit better than what the average was. The average time an hour and a half back then.
Yeah, so we wanted to do it in an hour and a half, and we did it in an hour and 20. We were short of an hour and 20, which we thought we were still going to do it in an hour and a half. And then we did a practice run through, and we're like, actually, we're going to do it in an hour and 20. We've got a chance to do it in an hour and 20. I think our practices we did it in an hour and 21 or something like that.
Yeah.
But what I say, I pace us basically because Steve started. I'll never forget it. You started running dead fast on the 1 o'clock. Very first.
On the first one, you get excited.
No, I dragged you back.
Everyone knows not
you as
to
an
do
animal.
this. You get all excited, and then it's like everybody runs off, and you're like, right, leg it. And you're like, slow down. I'm thinking, we're going so slow.
And thank God we did because
I would have made it to the end.
Yeah, because on the run 8, I thought you was like getting slower. And then at the warbles, you just couldn't, you're fatigued. But that was our first run through.
I couldn't hit the target.
You couldn't, so we had a lot of low reps that we weren't expecting, so they don't happen in our training. Anyway, so after we did Manchester, we were very excited. We were dead pleased with our time because we were so bad. So for us to get an hour and 19:46, I was buzzing.
Yeah, it was good.
So what we did after the Manchester one was develop your running speeds. So that's another program you wrote, didn't you?
Yes, that's a general prep one. I personally, that's one of the best programs. I like them all. But that one's very much, if you like numbers, and because you do your tests at the beginning, and then you do your 5K, 2K, 1K, and then the training's all based off those speeds. So you know exactly what speeds you need to do whenever you're doing your training in order to then get a new 5K PB, 2K PB, 1K PB. So it's all about those shorter distance and more powerful runs. But with all the programs, it doesn't just focus on what it's called. So you're going to cover everything to do with Hyrox, but the main emphasis will be on whatever the program is. So it's a Hyrox strong program. The emphasis is going to be getting stronger, but you're still going to include your shorter runs, your longer runs, everything else that goes with it. And that's the same with all of the programs. The program that it's called is what the main emphasis is, rather than that is all that you're doing.
I'm looking in disgust right now because that was my worst. I didn't finish it, I'll be honest, did I? Because it got to me too much. So I used to go to bed dreading the next morning because I know how hard it is, and I'm not very good at short and sharp, whereas you prefer your short, fast things. Yeah. I prefer the longer endurance stuff. But I did do most of it. I just didn't do the test at the end. You did the test at the end.
Yeah.
I wish I don't know if we've got the video to put in, but you near enough fell off the treadmill and you were in bed all day in the afternoon, but you got
max effort.
He just did under 22 minutes on the treadmill running. For you, that was really ridiculous.
Yeah, that was.
However, I'd have preferred to see you do it outside.
Yeah, but with the testing, however you do it at the beginning is how you do it at the end.
Yeah, but
so it's just to have a set test, and this is where the treadmills can be decent for you. It's easier to incrementally increase something and put your speeds on a treadmill compared to outside. So they do have their time and place, but you can't do all your training on the treadmill. You definitely have to get running outside.
But my theory is I encourage us to run outside because I like to know that I can run faster outside and stick to it, and it's a bit more of a challenge. But anyway,
so the run speed developer, we did that one.
Yeah.
So that's making us more powerful and stronger at our runs, and then we went back into
the specific prep for like 6 weeks. I know it's an 8-week program, but we only had 6 weeks left before we did Hyrox in London in beginning of May.
Yeah.
Or end of April. And we did an hour and 16:23. So our runs were about 20 seconds, half a minute quicker on each run. But it was still disappointing because I thought he was still hovering around the 5:30. And we always think we're going to do that bit faster. But when you're there, you have to factor in the rock zone, how hot it is, and you steady yourself at the beginning. Well, I do, and I've drag you back. But we still got a PB, so buzzing. But that's the event I felt the worst at. I felt a bit rough, as in sicky.
Didn't feel too good.
Didn't feel too good at that one. So then we decided, or I decided, let's do a half marathon. I thought, I'm going to up my game now. The half marathon was in August 2023. So I thought I'll do it with the Ultimate Engine Builder. You then got injured.
No, I'll say I probably got injured for
2 months.
Trying to do a half marathon by progressing my running up too quickly. So
do you think that's what happened?
Maybe. I now wear insoles in my trainers. That makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
And maybe it was just that.
So any questions on injuries? We've had that many. We're experts, so just drop us a message and we will do our best to help. But basically, you were off for 2 months, but you did stuff in the gym, but not running. I carried on the running, went with a friend, did this, that, the other, and then managed to do a half marathon. It took me 2 hours and 1 minute or something like that. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I did get a few injuries. I was in pain doing the half marathon, but then it's been fine since then. So did that. So that basically we had a lot more time before October just to mess around a bit and do different things.
Well, you've got the longer time you've got before an event, you've got a longer general prep phase. So you can do more of your general prep training. So you can do things like Engine Builder, Hyrox Strong, Run Speed Developer. We were doing the Engine Builder program. And the Engine Builder program will include more longer runs. It will include more longer Hyrox specific type workouts where you're doing the Hyrox movements, but you're doing them slower and you're learning movement efficiency and controlling your heart rate and stuff like that. It goes through about Zone 2 training. Zone 2 training is really only specific if you're going to be doing something that's continuous, as in if you're running or on the bike or even on a cross trainer, something like that, rather than doing all the different Hyrox movements. You won't get the same benefits from Zone 2 training trying to do all the Hyrox stuff, but there are benefits to doing longer, slower Hyrox training. And that's what the Ultimate Engine Builder is all about, building that real big aerobic base. And if you haven't got a big base, then it's hard to then build the peaks at the top. So it's really important to use that general prep phase when you're not doing your races and you're not doing the specific prep to really develop what you want to develop.
And then we went in specific prep, but then you was injured again.
So what was this?
You had COVID.
All right, so this was before Hyrox Birmingham. Yeah, I was injured and I was ill. So when we came to do
and I wanted to plough, but we still did it, which I'm glad we did.
I was better with probably a couple of weeks to go.
A week to go, you were better.
A week to go, I was better.
And then I got COVID the next day.
So we did it in 1 hour 16:49. So we were 26 seconds slower. Which I still thought we could beat our time, which
we weren't in our fit.
No, we weren't at our best.
No.
But then this is also one thing to point out as well. Not every race you do, you're going to be at your best.
No, you don't want to do a PB every time. Like, well,
that'd be nice to, but sometimes you won't, and if you don't, you don't. You then go, right, okay, what was it?
Yeah.
We've got reasons why we didn't. Sometimes you might not. Sometimes you might just race and be like, it just didn't go on the day.
Yeah.
So that time there, I wouldn't say that was a true reflection where we were at.
No.
I think we were quicker than that.
We would have been quicker, I think, if we were fit and healthy.
But you're only as good as the time you got. So that's the time we got.
Yeah.
And then we then did a modified engine builder phase.
Yeah. Because we know our running still needs picking up. This is it. We're strong enough to do it.
It's working out what you need to develop. And certainly for us, we still need to include longer runs. And the reason we modified the engine builder was we'd not long done bits of it before. And then to make the time fit. So if you know you've got 14 weeks before a race, you could do 7 weeks of engine builder, 7 weeks of specific prep. Or if you've not long done a specific prep phase, you could do the full 8 weeks and then do a shorter specific prep. You make it work to what time you've got.
Yeah, what he said.
So anyway, we were testing out the new specific prep phase version 2, which will be out at the end of this month.
Yeah, so anyway, we got a massive PB. And if I did not get this massive PB, I would question my life choices, because I poured every ounce of effort into December and January because I really wanted it in Manchester. It's like I just wanted it so badly. Changed my diet the whole of Jan. You did. You've lost a bit of weight. We ran,
definitely helps.
Ran every weekend a long run, which was so dull, but we put the work in. We just put the work in, didn't we?
Yeah, and that's what it'll come down to. Definitely, I've probably lost half a stone, which makes a big difference to your running. It's finding that balance for your strength and everything else. But losing weight...
We look gaunt on the photos and we look like death. But no, we did well.
We didn't. It was the fittest we'd been. You don't. You just don't like any of the pictures. It was the fittest we'd been. It's probably the healthiest we'd been. And then we've been consistent with the training, and that was reflected in.
I'm going to talk about
getting the PB.
Whooping, because I think Whoop tracking your sleeps helped me. Because I've just realised I thought I was really bad at my sleep, but actually my sleep's okay. But I think that's because of no alcohol and food that I've been eating. But I think Whoop's helped me just change my mindset on it. However, the day of Hyrox, Whoop was saying I was a bit tired.
Oh, Garmin was saying I was peaking, so the taper week was perfect. Yours said you were
recovery. So you can't let them get to your head.
After.
Yeah.
After Hyrox.
Yeah.
See, I didn't quite get that.
No.
So that's why with any technology,
be careful.
Use it, but don't. If you look at someone and you go, oh, it says I'm not in a position to do my best and it's race day, you have to ignore it and do your best.
I love my Whoop. And also for the people that don't sleep so well or think they've trained hard when they haven't, this will tell you your strain, your recovery and your sleep performance. It gives you ideas. There's a bit of a diary to track how you live your life almost, so then you know that you're on. And it will just encourage you to think better, do better. So if you do want the Whoop, let me know and I'll give you a link. Get months free. So after January 2024 event, I thought I'm never ever doing another Hyrox again. So when you get such a big PB, you actually want to give up and stop there. Because
I definitely didn't.
I definitely did. I hit my high. I thought, I can't ever train like that ever again. It was early mornings. I work a lot. It was a lot, big January. But I've calmed down a bit. And then we're slowly starting our training again next week, aren't we?
Yeah, so we've had a steady week after the Hyrox race. I say a steady week. We still did 2 15-kilometre runs.
Did we?
Yeah.
What happened?
We did a 15-kilometre run on Sunday. We did a long... Oh, no, you didn't do it. I did it.
You did it.
You did a shorter one, didn't
I
you?
did half an hour.
So we've still done that. We've still done stuff in the gym. It's just been all steady. We haven't done any high heart rate stuff or tempo runs or anything like that. It's all been steady. So the goal then is to try and do sub 110 at Hyrox London. But it's like anything. It's hard to get PBs all the time, but that's the goal. And the plan will be to do the Hyrox Strong program for a bit, and then we'll go into the new specific prep version 2.
Yeah.
Smash that, go to London, and hopefully get another PB. And that's how we've done it, and that's how I think everybody can do it. And I think the biggest takeaways are be consistent with your training.
Yeah.
Work to a plan. Make sure that the plan you work into, you incorporate rest days as well as days when you work really hard, days where you work a bit hard in between. Have a structured plan that you can follow and adjust it to what you can do and be consistent with it and see the results.
Use a watch to track your runs, use a Whoop to track your recovery and sleep.
Yeah, I'd say with our last Hyrox that we did as well, we've got our race tactics, I'd say, pretty good. So we've got a PB of 9 minutes. If I compare the times from Manchester, the first one to Manchester, the second one, the bits in between are pretty similar. The runs are all where we've made the time up on, but everything's similar apart from a little bit slower on the ski erg. We're a little bit slower on the rower, but then the run after the rower's a bit quicker. And that's the other thing that I'd say we're pretty good at as well is if you take out the first run, because that was a shorter run, all our runs are within, I think it's 11 seconds. So we're very consistent with those runs.
Yeah.
And that's how you want to do it. So even though we might not be quicker on the bits in between, when we're finishing them, we're not as dead as we were when we did them the first time. So we can then go straight into this run speed that we want to run at.
Yeah.
So that's the other reason for doing the specific prep phase. So you can get your pacing right for your runs as well.
Yeah.
So I hope you found everything we've gone through useful and that you can put it into practice.
Any questions, comment, ask away.
Ask away. And everybody go smash some PBs at your next Hyrox race.